Be coming down. Could somebody wake me up? I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. Yeah, I just see her face wherever I look. She's standing in the crowd. So let go, let go. I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, let a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light. I'm so sick of waiting and getting too restless to be in this dusty town. I've heard of this place where people forget and you get another try. So come open up my door. I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. I won't see your face wherever I look. I'm blinded by the light. I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, died a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light. Yeah, I just wanna see the light. Put up with changes.
Breakups are awful. Awful. They suck. No matter if it is a romantic relationship, if it is a familial, if it is a friendship, they suck and they are so painful. As humans, we do not like pain. We will do anything within our power to minimize that pain or to numb it. We sometimes use crutches as we abuse alcohol. We can turn into drugs, right? For me, that crutch looked like work. Some of my best work, you guys, was during my breakup. And still, I'm catching dividends on that still. However, that wasn't what healed me. We tend to rush into relationships thinking that, you know what, yeah, another relationship, I'm going to show that I am good, that I'm not damaged. All that stuff goes through our heads. But that is not where it's at. The healing is within us, and that is where we have to start. Today, we're going to be sharing 9 tips that will help you heal during your breakup. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Ana Gil, and I am a headshots photographer and the host and producer of Officially Unofficial TV. We premiere new episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, you just have to send us an email at officiallyunofficialtv@gmail.com. That is officiallyunofficialtv@gmail.com, and let us know your area of expertise in the mental health field. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest. She is the founder of Safe Space CNY, Tracy Mergler. Tracy,
Hey, hey,
welcome.
hey. How
Welcome,
are you?
welcome. I am so excited to have you here because going through a breakup is hard enough, but add in the holidays.
I don't know. Why do they always they happen around the
I
holidays
don't
too?
know.
I feel like it's like a double whammy, you
You
know?
know,
Like,
it's just not right. And then all the
it's not.
holiday movies and the loving and the
Oh my
couples just cuddling and
God.
all this stuff, that's just not
Oh,
right.
it takes that pain and it just like it twists it. It
Yeah,
twists it.
yeah, it's
I
just
know.
not
I know.
it's just not good. But before we get into it, Tracy, please give us your background as it relates to mental health.
Oh, I feel like I am a mental health like dropout, I guess you could say. So, I have tried everything for the past probably 24 years. I've been told this is what I'm supposed to do for my mental health to make me feel better, right? Diagnosed with depression and anxiety and an eating disorder at the age of 14. I I was put through the ringer. I have been through multiple treatment centers. I have tried every modality out there, right? And it was about 3 years ago that I was like, this isn't working. Like, I don't feel good. I don't feel alive. I feel numbed out from most of life experiences, and I'm not happy. And I just knew that there was more out there. And so what I did was I built this idea, this concept of Safe Space CNY, which takes our medical model that we have here in the States, right? And it adds in community, it adds in education and connection, and support and vulnerability and all that raw, beautiful, yucky stuff. And it puts it all in the same space and it allows people to come together to heal. And it's what worked for me. And so I pieced together my recovery model here in Syracuse. And I said, listen, you don't have to be a recovering addict or a recovering eating disorder survivor to need this. We aren't we aren't taught how to deal with emotions. We were shown, we were modeled them by our parents, and grandparents and society in general, right? And we just did what they did. And so a big component we're missing is that we actually have to be taught how to feel and then how to cope.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it in community.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is my mental health background, I guess.
Yeah, and you know one thing though is like you mentioned eating disorder and you mentioned uh, depression. No matter in my opinion, right? No matter what diagnosis we have, one thing that remains constant in my opinion is the getting to yourself and loving yourself and knowing who you are, so that you can then tackle everything else, right? So
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed. Because you
yeah,
are the only one you have,
mm-hmm.
right? I
Yeah.
think and that's what we do, we push it out on other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shopping, video games, men, women, right?
Mm-hmm.
We use those as a distraction, yet that's
Mm-hmm.
what they are. They are
Yeah,
a
yeah,
distraction, they're
they
a
are.
coping mechanism,
Yeah.
right?
It's just numbing.
So
It's just
it
numbing
is
what
numbing.
is already there, and we have all done it, right? We
Oh
have all
gosh,
done it.
yeah,
We
we
have
all
all
do
done
it.
it. But it's
Absolutely.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, I
It's
probably did it today. Like, we distract, we don't even know we're doing it,
mm-hmm,
right? It's just, it is what is ingrained in us, and that's
mm-hmm.
why yeah, this process of just getting to know yourself
Yeah,
uh, is huge. It's the
yeah,
foundation. It's the
yeah.
foundation.
Yeah, it is. And then that's one of the things that when we are in a this is one of the hardest thing when we are in a relationship, it varies depending on length, right? What we feel and how connected and how one we become with this person, that we sort of forget, right? That we were once one person. And so our life is just intertwined so tightly that when the breakup happens, we are left with nothing, because everything that we did was with that person. The places that we went to eat, that was our favorite places, are with this person, right? If this person liked a color, now that color reminds us of that person, and so it's like, oh my god. So then we have to find ourselves again, and we do take a break, right? Take a step back, and first not visit or not do any of those things until we're ready to revisit them again and reclaim them, because if we like them, we could continue to like those things,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think giving yourself permission that
Mm.
that has no time stamp,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have no idea how long that's going to take.
Right. Right.
Um, and for some people, me one of them, it takes me a really long time to get over a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a feeler, I'm a
Right.
lover, and so yeah, there's no time stamp on it.
Right. It is, and that is one of the, I will say, one of the, I don't want to say call it a mistake, but of rushing, like one of the like rushing into another relationship, right? Rushing
Yeah,
into that is one of the worst things, because we're still coming with what we didn't resolve, and then we're trying to prove that we're good people
yes,
in the other relationship, and then the other relationship is like, okay, maybe they're dealing with their own stuff, right? And maybe they came with, and they
right.
didn't heal either, so those relationships are even more challenging. So taking our
I
time,
agree.
being able to recognize those
Yeah.
behaviors that we keep attracting. Tracy.
Yes, you said it. You said it.
And
Typically,
you guys, we're gonna go
we
over the 9 tips that have worked for Tracy, that have worked for me, and that have worked for other people as well. If you have some tips that have worked for you, whether you're going through the breakup or you saw someone else, you healed already from your breakup, feel free to share it in the comments. We would love to read
yeah,
them as
we want
well.
to hear. We want to
Right.
hear.
Yes. So we're gonna go to the first one, Tracy. What do we
All
say?
right,
We go, right?
let's do it.
Here we go. Let's go to the first one. So the first one we have is feel it to heal it. Go
Yeah.
for it. That is a
I
good one.
love this slogan, first of all, right? Um, Coming off of a breakup is an emotional roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that you're going to be feeling great, and then
Mm-hmm.
there are times that certain things are going to trigger you, right? And you are going to feel like crap. You are
Mm.
going to feel emotional and angry and upset and sad and questioning things and going back over them in your head. And it's giving yourself permission to do it all
Mm-hmm.
and to
Mm-hmm.
feel it. So we were talking yesterday where even giving yourself a little bit of time a day, right, to feel it, because
Mm-hmm.
this is a process and there's no finish line. I mean,
Right.
and I think that's what we want to do is we want to get through the pain really quickly, right? Because pain's uncomfortable and we haven't been taught how to sit in it. So we can sit in physical pain. We can go work out at the gym and I can sit in a squat and like kill myself, right? But that pain we're all used to dealing with. But when it comes to actual emotional pain, we aren't good at that. And so to sit in that and to feel it is actually really hard for people to do. Uh, but it's the only way through. It's the only way through.
And this is something that it's not like it happens, and you have to be, you have to allow yourself to do it, and when you feel yourself kind of going off of it, trying to numb it, just be gentle with yourself and come back to it, come back to feeling it, because I'm telling you guys, it's not like my first breakup. I just went out. I just went back out, right? But it wasn't. I quickly realized that it just wasn't the right thing to do, and now, for example, I learned because I started to take my time going through it. It's not easy, but let me tell you guys, I will sit with Lifetime television and I will choose the movies that were like the one that will make me just like be right. Because when you go through the grieving process, right, you're grieving and you feel relieved that you're not in that relationship. If you say, if you were the one who ended it, you
Mhm.
feel then you feel angry, then you feel happy. So it's like a roller coaster of emotions going through it, grieving. So I will be watching Lifetime television, you guys, and I will choose the movies that will allow me to be angry at the guy. So
Yeah.
I would just
Dig
start
in.
going.
Dig in. Trigger that. Yes. I love it. Get
So I would
dirty.
just, right? So I would just stop saying things to that one guy or whatever. But you just have to do it. You have to feel all of those feelings. Like Tracy, like you're saying, you have to
I
feel
know.
it, and they suck. These feelings
Yeah.
suck.
And people are gonna try and like rescue you from that pain, right? Your friends are gonna be like, let's go out. We'll find you a new man, right? We'll get you. You get on apps. You do whoever, whatever. You go to the bars. You do whatever you do to meet a person these days, and that's actually the exact opposite that you really need to be doing, because now you're just bringing your shit onto that person, right? And now you're gonna ask them to hold it, right? Because you're not actually present. You're not actually ready for a new relationship.
You're not.
Um,
You're in the proving phases. You're in the proving that you are a good person. You're in the proving that you're good. That he or she was the
uh,
bad one in the relationship, and it's not cool. And we have a comment from Gabe, and he's saying that he's having to. Let me move it a little bit down here so you can read
all
it.
right.
Yeah, so he's having to understand his feelings is first before moving
Yes.
on. Yes, yes, Gabe. That's
Yes. They are. It is like our exes are like a massive, I don't know, like puzzle for us,
mm-hmm,
because you look at them and you're like, what worked and what didn't work,
mm-hmm,
okay? So what do I know that moving into the next relationship I need? Like
mm-hmm.
I need more emotional connection.
Right.
I need him to put the dishes away. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's but you know what I mean? Like there's
You
something
do.
you're
Those dishes
attracted
need to
to.
be put away because those dishes like symbolize something else. It's the
Yeah,
dishes are
you're
symbolism. That's
absolutely
all, you
right.
guys. Let's admit that the dishes are
You
symbolism. The picking of the house is a symbolism. It's just what's behind it. We have to figure that out because let me tell you, like, nice. It's not all right. So Gabe, let's go back to Gabe because it's just good. Like, he's going through the first
Aw,
part right now, right? And he's trying to
tried
be,
my best.
yes, right. You,
Aw, good for you. That's incredible.
yes,
That's
Gabe.
incredible,
Yes,
especially for a guy. Let's just
yes.
put that out there. You
Mm-hmm.
guys have an additional pressure on you, right? Because as a stigma, as a man, you really aren't supposed to feel, or you're not supposed to show it to us. And so you guys are in just as much pain as we are during a breakup, right? You're questioning things. You're going through the process. It's the same. So I love that you're doing that.
Yeah,
Good.
right. Yeah,
It gets
good.
better.
Good for you, Gabe. It does get better, and that's one of the things that you have to realize that whatever you're going through right now is temporary.
Yes. So listen, an emotion lasts no more than 90 seconds. No more than 90 seconds do you have to sit in it. It will pass through you. It's a wave and then it's over. I think that some of us fear that we're going to be in it for long periods of stretch like time, so we shut it right back down, right? 90 seconds, and typically it's like 60. So you feel it, it's gone, you move forward until it hits you again, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, and that's what it is. I didn't know that it lasts 90 seconds. Like,
mhm.
right? Like, I didn't know that. That's a good tip
Yeah.
there. That's a good tip there, Miss Tracy. Because
Thanks.
all right.
Thank you.
So speaking of tips, let's go to tip number 2, which is one of the really
Ooh,
listen. Set boundaries.
love me some boundaries. Yeah, I'm really not good at this. I'm working on this myself. So here we go.
It's not easy. It's not easy, especially when we are yes people.
We are yes people.
It's not easy
Yes.
to say. It's not easy to set boundaries, but you know what? Setting those boundaries is necessary, especially when you're healing through a breakup. You're healing from a breakup because first you have to have boundaries for yourself. Set
Hmm.
boundaries, whether it is you're not going to see this person ever again because, right? You have to set the boundary for yourself. And when those feelings of, when we're forgetting the bad and just remembering the good times, however little those good times were, we have to remember the boundaries that we set for ourselves and why we set those boundaries, right? And
Yes.
yeah, and not just on romantic relationships, right? And on any type of relationship, Tracy.
Friendships. I think friendships are just as hard.
Mm-hmm.
They hit deeper in a weird way
Mm-hmm.
where I agree. And I think we need to start to normalize that friendships do end,
Mm-hmm.
and you grow. People are supposed to grow. They're not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to stay stagnant, right?
Right.
So as you grow, you change and your
Mm-hmm.
interests change,
Mm-hmm.
and you grow away from people that aren't growing or that are growing a different direction. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but the loss of friendships, oh, that
Oh,
one's a hard
they
one.
do.
That one
They
like is
suck.
a hurt
Like
punch.
uh, I went through one, and it was just what you mentioned. I have this friend with whom I still love her dearly. I do, but we had to part ways because I would continue to grow, and she would still be in the same spot we were when we first met. Right? Like I'll continue to grow, and then that sometimes will influence our friendship and the conversations and how they went because I had a different mindset when it came to different things. But I let me tell you something for real. I miss her, but
Of
I
course you
don't
do.
miss when that what came with it. But I do miss her. I do. I mean, we were friends for a long time. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then talk
totally
about
understand.
yeah, and talk about romantic relationship, but talk about familial relationships when setting boundaries with them.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were even talking about yesterday, like when you do end a relationship and then all of a sudden everybody's got they feel like they can comment, right? Like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you guys were so great together though." And, "Oh, like he was trying or she was trying." And or they do the exact opposite where they're like, "I didn't really see you guys together." Right? And you're like, "Oh, okay.
Yes,
Awesome."
yes. No, you know what? When going
Like,
through something, that's good to hear, right? Let's God, easy you guys together. But when we're going through these things and we are the ones going through everything behind closed doors, and people say, "But he's trying. But you guys look so great together." And sometimes, Tracy, and you guys, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes we get attached to that feeling. Not necessarily the relationship, but the feeling and what people think about the relationship. That the relationship is amazing. And then, oh my gosh, you guys are perfect. We get attached to that. And those are the boundaries that we have to set. We have to just,
yes, yes. Like that's not helpful,
mhm.
Like keep those comments to yourself, right?
Right? Yeah.
You you're
Yeah.
in a very vulnerable state after a breakup,
Mm-hmm.
and so those comments aren't helpful.
Yeah.
Shut them down. Shut
Yeah.
them down.
Yeah. And how would you so Trace, if you were to shut down one of these comments from your friends or whatever, how would you shut it down?
Oh gosh. Um, let's see. Well, if they, I would just be like, "Hey, I'm in it right now. I'm feeling it all, right? So if we could just not talk about him at all, or like nothing is really helping right now. Like I don't know. I tend to be a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So I never want to like be really blunt with people. But I typically bring my humor into it a little bit and then try and make it sound a little better. But yeah, just I would. It's not helpful right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And what about you guys? How were you were going and healing through your breakup or are about to break up and your friends and your family knew him, you expressed this to them. Do they come to you? What do they say? Do they say, "You guys look so good. Oh, I didn't see it happening," or, "Oh my gosh, you should try again"? What was it? And then if they did, what was your response? Because as you just saw real quick here, we kind of have we're talking about boundaries and letting them know, but we are people pleasers, right? So we have a hard time saying, so you know what, let's not talk about it. Which on the other hand, what happens is we just stay home. We don't go out.
We just hibernate under a blanket.
Watching Lifetime television for women, really.
It's so sad, but I was totally doing that last night. So let's.
I mean, like,
There's
that's what it's
something
there for.
very comforting about. Yes. Totally
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Totally is.
People give me, like, I'm like, you know what, I'm good. It works for me. And that's what it is. What works for you works for you. That's
You know
it.
how many Christmas Lifetime movies I've watched in the last 5 days? Yeah, it's embarrassing. We're not
With a
gonna,
box
we're
of
not gonna
tissues,
reveal
and
that.
it's fine, right? I mean, you have to trigger those emotions, because if you have been holding a lot of emotions, whatever those emotions are, if you have been holding tears, right? If you have been holding anger, if you have been holding happiness because, oh my gosh, I just went through a breakup, I'm not supposed to be happy, and you're trying and you're holding that because people are supposed to see you suffering after a breakup, right? If you've been holding any of those things, trigger them however way you want. You have to for them to come out, right? Like, honestly, I don't know about you, Tracy, I don't know about you guys, but I used to, like, sometimes watch the puppies commercials. This is a true story, you guys. I used to watch the puppy commercials so I can cry.
The sad, like Sarah McLachlan ones, where they're like crying. Those ones
No, where the puppies are like the
in
in the
cages.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where Sarah McLachlan is singing like.
Yeah, it's
"I
yes, it's yes.
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about right now.
I had to. And then I watch comedy, anything to just get all those feelings out. You have to do it. You have to
Yes,
get
you
those
got it.
emotions out. Tracy.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes. All right, guys, we're going to go for tip number 2. Again, if you have any questions, any comments regarding any of the tips that we're mentioning here, feel free to share them with us. Okay, so the third one is, oh, yes,
Yes.
implement self-care. Tracy.
Love me some self-care. Okay, so this goes against what we were taught as kids. Let's be honest. Like, self-care is hugely important to your mental health, especially in the world we live in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so self-care doesn't have to be expensive, right? It doesn't have to cost anything. What I did is I made a list of my favorite things, and there are things that I do every day. There are things that I allow myself to do once a month because they cost something, they cost more. Something I try and do once a week. And they're things that just make me feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a bubble bath. I take a bath like every day. It just grounds me. It grounds
Mm-hmm.
me. So you need to love on yourself during this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are going through a wave of emotions. You're feeling it all, and no one else is going to do it. Nobody else. We talked about this, right? You can go down to the bar and get somebody to do it, but it's all temporary and it doesn't work. It's the quick fix.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out a way to love on yourself and do it pretty consistently, especially after a breakup.
Yeah. Yeah. And that self-care looks different for everybody. And like you, Tracy, like you just mentioned, you don't have to spend money doing it. It could be solo time for yourself. It could be, if you have children, it could be hiring a babysitter, or getting
Right.
someone to watch your children while you just sit at home and just be. You don't even have to do anything, but if that helps you out, if that calms your mind, just as, like, or just privacy, you just have that privacy to heal or to let go without your children being there, right? It's just
Absolutely. You
volunteering
know,
on some places that you feel
oh, I
good
love
at.
that. I love that. That's a great idea. That's power. That is, yeah, that feeds your soul right there. That
Exactly.
is a
That's
great
yeah.
self-care tip.
That's the feel good things that you need, and then you be connecting with other people, and then you seeing other parts of yourself that perhaps were hidden, that perhaps you haven't seen in a long time, and that you're getting to reconnect with that part of yourself again. And those are the things about self care. Just it just opens up your mind again of who you are and the things that you like to do
Yeah.
without
I mean,
guilt.
I like to sit in the car and like blast the music. And it's
Mm.
like the sad songs, right? That make me
Of
cry.
course. Yes, of
Um,
course,
but
Tracy.
honestly, yeah, of course, Tracy, we're like the same human. Um, but like that is, yeah, that's a form of self-care. It's just, it's so easy to distract, especially like in our society. We just keep going. There's always something on the to-do list. There's
Mm-hmm.
always something you could be doing right now. There's my house is a disaster. Let's be honest. That I
Mm-hmm.
could be doing so many things. But the point is that during and after, and just not even after a breakup, during the world we live in right now, self-care is so important to your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, so important. I don't know how to stress that
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, it is. And we have a comment here from your quote, Tracy. It says, I love your quote. We are not okay with just surviving any longer. We deserve to thrive, right?
We do. We do. Like, come on, give us a chance to thrive. I love that. We are changing the coding. We are changing the world. I mean, honestly, everything that we were taught, everything that we have known up to this point, COVID has thrown on its head, right? Like, and it is no longer about just surviving in this world. We can't keep up with the pace. We cannot do it as human beings. Um, so how do we survive? How do we make that, or how do we thrive? How do we make that happen, right? And self-care, self-care.
Right, that's true. I mean, that's how. And we can go on with self-care because self-care in and of itself is a huge topic because there's so many things like as Tracy, as you mentioned, we were not taught self-care.
Yeah.
We weren't taught self-care, and there are others who who mention about, oh, self-care is selfish,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
There's so many
yeah.
things that go behind self-care, and we can have a whole show on self-care. Well, perhaps we will,
We will
but let's
bookmark that.
right.
Bookmark
Let's go to tip number 4. Tip
it.
number
Yeah.
4. Oh my gosh, this is the one that I just did. Not just, but like I did it right away.
Okay. So, honesty statement here.
Hmm.
Most of my boyfriends have had to do this to me, but that I've learned. But listen,
Okay.
I get it. I get it. And I'm grateful for them for doing that. I so am. But this is huge.
Hmm.
Unfollow, block, and listen, it's not to hurt the other person. It is literally to take care of yourself.
Hmm.
You do not need to see them at a bar with a new girl or a new boy. You do not need to see them like on a trip to Key West with their new girlfriend, right? Like it's painful.
Hmm.
Why?
Hmm.
Why? You know?
Yeah.
So block, unfollow, stop going to the restaurants that you saw them at, stop going to the coffee shops that don't visit their frequent, like stay away.
Hmm.
Stay away for a time being, right? Your heart needs some healing. Your heart needs some healing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like I block everything. I'm like block everything from my phone, from like the whole thing. I don't
Mhm.
need to see anything. And still, then this one person, managed to reach out and be like, "Oh, I didn't know you were gonna unfriend me so quickly." I'm like, "Well, we're done. Why do I need to have you
Right,
no,
right.
right?" And this is the time for healing. Once I was healed, right? There's some now they're following me on my social media channels, and if you guys are watching, hello. Like, hi. Nice being friends again.
Hi,
Right?
hi.
but
Good to
but I
see you
had to
again.
take right I had to take that time. I did not want to see them,
Agree.
like you just mentioned, having fun. I was suffering. I didn't want to.
Yes, because then you compare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are they already feeling ready to be in a relationship? And
Mm-hmm.
I am still like eating ice cream on the couch under my weighted blanket, right?
Right.
Like, how are they ready?
And the truth
But
is, and the truth is, They are not. They're just numbing it.
Bam.
Let's put that out there.
Let's put that out there. I agree. I would agree with that. Yes, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That is what we do.
We as
numb
human
the
beings.
hell out of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
As human beings, we do not like pain. We do not like it. We just do anything to get that thing away.
Oh, and it's so easy to numb that out with another human being. Yes. So easy.
And is
yeah,
that,
what people
go ahead, Tracy.
What people don't realize is that it still comes out. It comes out in different ways, right? Emotions don't stay stuffed down. Pain doesn't stay stuffed down. It comes out in passive aggressiveness, it comes out in ways that you don't realize, but it's still escaping.
Right.
It's still escaping. Yeah.
And Tracy, you remember we're talking about this. Like if that is what you want to do, for example, if that is a way of you to heal and you are honest with yourself, that what you're doing is healing. And you're going to go and you're going to be honest with the person whom you're bringing in. And you're saying, hey, I just got out of this relationship. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just here to have fun. If that is what you choose to do, you have to be honest with the other person because they don't deserve to be hurt.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up because we're not here to shame, right? Like if you want to go out, that's your thing, go out. Meet as many people as you want, spend the night, not whatever you need to do, then okay. But honesty is key because the other person you're bringing into that is not in the same boat, might not be in the same boat, right? So they might develop feelings and they might think that you're like ready, right? But that a week after a breakup, you are not ready for that. So just being like, hey, I'm here for fun right now. I am not ready for anything more is all you need to say.
Yeah.
But it saves some hearts in the meantime.
And it saves some hearts for you as well. Because
right.
We're just saying, right? No matter the length, breaking up is tough. So you just broke up, so for example, you just broke up with somebody, a week later, 2 weeks later, you go on and try being with somebody else, and this person's catching feelings, you're not there yet, and you have to break up again, so you have to go through the same thing that you just went 2 weeks ago? No. That's insanity. But if you're honest and that's what you want to do, right? No judgment here. No shame. We got to do what we got to do, right?
Agreed.
So we have a comment from Brianna. Hopefully I'm pronouncing this name right. Okay, so I gotta change this thing. Will they eventually feel it? My ex has deleted all trace of me, started all new social media, and is basically a new person acting as if he has no past.
Oh, Brianna, I feel this. They may, and they may not. I mean, honestly, a lot of people go on just pushing it down and moving forward. Yet that means they're honestly not really present in the current relationship they're in either, right? So this is painful because now you're looking at how much pain you're in and then sort of like, how is he moving on so quickly? Like, how is he doing that? And honestly, I think you have to have a little bit of compassion and just be like, wow, he's not dealing with this. He's not. And I feel bad for him because it's going to show up along the line at some point. But that's not on you. And that's not this, you are your own responsibility at this point in time. Right. And so honestly, what I've had to do is just feel bad. At first I put it on myself and then I was like, wait, that's not mine to hold. That's not mine to hold. Like, I feel bad because I want him to heal,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Anna?
I mean, like, having empathy for someone who hurt you, it is hard. It's hard because
so hard.
We were in a relationship and we had empathy for them, and yet they did this, and that. And now we have to have empathy for them and wish them well and wish them to heal. sometimes, like, at least for me, what I did was I'm like, I'm not holding anything. Just like Tracy said, I'm not holding anything. That thing is his. I'm going to deal with me right now. And then later I might have empathy for him. I might, but right now I'm not even thinking about him because it's me right now. That's all I have to do. I have to take care of me right now. So
Absolutely. But that's not saying that all of that, Brianna, doesn't hurt.
for
Like, let's
sure.
just
Oh
put
my
that out
gosh.
there.
Yes.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts. Um, because then you question everything you had, right? You
Mm-hmm.
question, you go back every memory.
Mm.
Like, every time he
Mm-hmm.
said, I love you. You're like, wait, was that really real? Like, was that? And yes, it was. This is his coping strategy, his mechanism, and it is all him. It is all him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And everything was real that you experienced. And now he's he's coping in his way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like we were talking about. If that's the way he, going out and meeting some other people, then that's the way you gotta heal. You gotta heal. But hopefully, but let's concentrate on Brianna. Brianna, these tips are going to help you. Okay, these tips are going to help you. Don't even, as if you at all can, right? Don't even think about like looking him up on social media and trying to
Oh,
figure it
it's so
out.
hard.
Like, it is hard. It is. I'm not saying that, right? Because curiosity is just
Mhm.
right,
I
but
know that is when I'm at my most vulnerablest.
mhm.
Vulnerablest? That's a word, right?
That could be a word.
Um, sure. I make up words. Um, is when I know as soon as I pick up my phone or I'm on Facebook or whatever, and I type, even that thought comes in my mind,
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, I know I'm either tired, I know I'm needy, I know there's something there. Like, why? Why do I want to feel that pain? Why are you putting yourself through that?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
It's because you were looking for something. So I
Yep.
always then go internally and say, hey, Trace, what do you need? And typically it's comfort. Typically it's something along those lines.
Yeah, and that is the process of taking our time. That would be the only way, because when you ask yourself, "Hey Tracy, what is it that you need right now?" And then Tracy
Mm-hmm.
answers, right? Tracy herself answers, and Tracy herself gives herself what she needs, right? That's healing.
That is like huge,
That's like,
huge.
oh, so I don't need somebody else to do this for me. I got it, right? Like,
What?
liberating.
Yes,
Honestly, it's the best thing.
yes.
So Paul writes, hi Paul writes, you can ignore it no matter how much you might want to. So I believe that you were talking about feeling, right? That when we're trying to feel or ignore the feelings or seeing someone them being on social media or whatever. I believe that's what you were mentioning, Paul. If that's not it, write it again and let us know. So Paul writes also, I think some people are incapable of looking at themselves in the mirror.
Mhm. Agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
100%.
And how I look at that is that, like, we go back to that growth concept, right? That you're both growing. And some people stay stagnant for a little bit, right? And you might continue to be growing, and then all of a sudden the relationship doesn't work anymore because
Mm-hmm.
you're not both doing that work. You're not both doing the internal sort of healing. I don't know. I completely agree that people react very differently, like when relationships are over. Like, you never know, it might shock you, like how your ex responds, right? Like, oh, I didn't see that in him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I think you can't take it personally because it's no longer yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are the only one you got to worry about. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep. I agree 100%. And those are the things, like I didn't, it usually takes one. Tracy and I were talking about, like, Tracy and I are feelers, right? We feel things, we want to help people, we want to be there for people. And being in a relationship where someone else is hurting, we will put our hurt aside to help this person. And so then afterwards, seeing them moving along and doing all these things, and we're like, right, it just can become bad because we're like, look at all the things that we did, and look at him, right?
Yeah,
But it's
girl,
just
you
like,
get it. I
Just
know.
we
I
gotta
know,
push it
but that's
aside.
the stuff we got to work on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
should we be putting that much time and effort into our into our spouses? Like, should we like we love on them, right? We love on them, we help them, but that's my thing right now. That's my thing right now.
Yeah. I mean, like, you guys, it's hard. It's hard. And even after
So
we're
hard.
healed, right? Like, I consider myself healed from the last relationship. And I'm not happy I had to go through that with that person, but I
Hmm.
appreciate the lesson that I learned. I appreciate the lesson so much,
Me too.
but it was tough. It was really tough. It's just so much that I am truly an empathetic person, but I don't think I have empathy for that person. Like, as the adult, as the person, as an adult, I do not have empathy for this person, because as an adult we can make decisions, right? We reason, we know what's good, and we know, hopefully, right, what's good and what's not good. Who I feel sad and truly empathetic towards is the kid in him that didn't get what he needed to get when he was little, and
Yeah.
yet this is why he turned out that way. That is whom I want to hug and kiss and give him and be like, everything is gonna be okay. But him as an adult, no.
I know.
You know?
I know, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think people, we attract to people's, not only in relationships do we attract to people's physical being and all the above, but we attract to their pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you've experienced pain yourself. You're like, "Oh shit, you've
Mm-hmm.
experienced pain like me," and it's like amazing. Like, I feel understood. I'm not alone in this. And so you then start to make sense of their behavior, right? Like, oh, he's
Mm.
acting like this or she's acting like this because, yeah, he grew up like this or he had this happen to him or blah, blah, blah. So you justify it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you also become sort of like a punching bag in a
Right.
way. Like, you're
Yeah.
dealing with this stuff, but that shouldn't be projected on you.
I agree.
So, yeah, that's what we do as feelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
maybe not just as feelers in general, maybe as women. I don't know.
right. That
But
is a puzzle. That is a puzzle, right? As feelers, as women, as men, because men, who you just mentioned, and men go through this, and because
yes,
they are taught not to express their emotions, they perhaps that's why they go right away and date,
agreed.
because they're like, you know what, I'm not feeling anything, I'm good, like I'm a man, I can go out. But they're feeling it because the emotions are in there. And the Paul over here, Paul is saying that it takes two people to be in two,
Yes. I
wait, in
like you,
two
Paul,
two
in a
people.
two-person relationship. Yep.
Okay, let's dig into that. Tracy, let's
Well, I they both have to be putting in the same amount of effort, right? I think that's what Paul means is it does. And when it becomes lopsided, then it's very easy for one of the parties to sort of get angry around it, right? And putting in a lot of effort to keep this relationship floating, and he or she is not, right?
mm-hmm,
And so then you get bitter. And then, I mean, communication is a massive piece of this, but it when those emotions start to come up, the bitterness, the anger, all that, and it's not communicated, then it builds and it builds and it builds, and then something like not doing the dishes makes it explode, right? Because you're not talking about it. Like, and it could
mm-hmm,
have it. So yeah, with that,
mm-hmm.
communication is a whole nother show,
It's
right?
a
But
whole nother show. Yep. Yeah.
you gotta both be putting in the effort. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta both want it.
Yep. And that is the thing, because sometimes, like, if we want it and the other person doesn't want it, then those feelings of being unwanted comes into play. And if our trauma when we were little had to do with that, oh my gosh, that's going to
Mhm.
become even worse, and we're going to try even harder to get attached to that relationship and not let it go, because we want to prove that we are worth it, right? But we're proving that we're worth it to the wrong person, because the person needs to appreciate you. You don't need to prove you are. You just need to be you, and the person needs to see all of you. And that's
I mean, I read that this year, like knowing your partner's traumas
Mm-hmm.
is like the new love language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
because it really it shows so much about them, how they
For sure.
respond to things, how they cope, how they communicate, how all the above. It gets all traced right back down to that, right? Um, and so a lot of things that we take personally really just tie right into their traumas, and we shouldn't be taking personally, right?
Right.
Because it's their stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the new love language. I kind of like it.
Yeah, right. And it is a new love language. And let me tell you, I had a show, you guys, with an author, Khalid Bey, and his principles were very they were intriguing, and they were also like, I'm like, what are you saying? He was like, you need to sit down with a new person if you are truly into getting in a relationship, and you need to go over what they want, what their traumas are, everything, because you want to invest in this relationship. And I was like, no, how are you gonna go with somebody and ask them like, hey, so there are ways. But that was good advice, but it took
It
me a while.
Interesting.
Yes, I mean, it is there. It's finding love, finding and choosing love, and like before, you guys, I used to think about choice was not like loving was not a choice, and loving is most definitely a choice.
Yeah.
In my opinion, before I wouldn't believe before I was like, oh, love just happens and it's just so beautiful and it's just gonna. Now I believe that you choose who you're going to love, and you choose every single day because you see the good in them, and everything is good, and their trauma is, it's good, and your trauma that they kind of mesh is good, but it's a choice. What do you think,
I
Tracy?
agree. I agree.
That is
It is.
another show. But let's go back to
Yeah.
tip, because we're like, okay. So we actually mentioned a lot of this already, but it is healing comes from you.
Yes. Healing does come from you. Yeah, we've kind of tapped into that in each of
Mm-hmm.
these already, that it starts with you. It starts with building a new relationship with yourself. I mean, as it, we take away something from each, multiple things from each
Mm-hmm.
relationship we're in, right? We learn things about ourselves, we learn things about what we want in a potential partner, but we also do a shedding. We shed the skin, the relationship. And so it is this massive regrowth moment for us, in finding who we are, like outside of this relationship. Um, and that is all you. That is
Mm-hmm.
all you. And
Yeah.
honestly, for me, it starts with a journal and a pen,
Mm.
like, and finding quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a simple concept, finding quiet. Yet we don't do it. We
Mm-hmm.
don't do it. We don't sit in quiet ever. But that is when the magic happens, because
Right.
that's when you actually can hear. You can hear yourself. So,
And
yes, healing
yeah,
begins with you.
I agree. And and Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong. When we mention writing, when we mention journaling, we're not saying you have to write a whole paragraph, or you have to write or be, perfect on the grammar and things like that. You're just dumping. If that is
Yeah,
keywords, if those are keywords that you're dumping, dump them, right? Because then you don't have them inside. It's just like
agree.
equal that to you have a lot to do, and it's in your in your brain, and then when you take it out, you dump it, and you feel better because you're ready to,
Yeah,
okay, what I have to do, right, is now written. So it's the same thing. If you're feeling angry, I'm angry, that's it, right?
yeah.
Everything else will follow. If you're feeling discouraged, write discouraged, just write the word, just come in, it will follow. Tracy.
It. Oh my gosh, that's huge. It will follow. So what I've gotten recently into the habit of doing is, something always triggers me, right? It could be an action, it could be a person, it could be a place, whatever, where it triggers that emotion that comes on. So what I write is like what the trigger was, and then what I'm feeling. And then honestly, I leave it at that, and it's like it spills out of me. It
Mm-hmm.
spills out of me. There's no effort required. Sometimes it's a picture, sometimes it's a scribble on a page, sometimes it's a bunch of bad words. Let's be honest. But I mean, I remember as a kid, I used to be so afraid that someone would see my journal that I would just make believe. I would just tell fairy tales, right? Yeah, I don't do that anymore. Like my journals are destroyed because honestly, nobody I don't look back. It is for
Mm-hmm.
the present moment. Um and it's one of my favorite times now. I mean, it is.
Yeah, and
Building a
sometimes, right, go ahead, Tracy.
building a relationship with yourself should be fun. It should
Mm-hmm.
be like, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, a detective. You're doing
Mhm,
detective
right.
work.
Right, funny, just like you spend time like, I want to get to know this person, I want to know what triggers this person, I want to know what he likes, or what she likes. Do the same thing to yourself. Like, do the
Yeah.
same thing to yourself. Find all of that to yourself. And sometimes when you're writing, I don't know if you've done this. Yeah, you mentioned you do this, Tracy. Sometimes I write in my diary and I'm like, oh my gosh, if somebody reads this, and I just write
They're
it,
gonna
right?
think I'm crazy.
Right, exactly. I get it out of my head and then I burn that piece of paper or I rip it. I have a shredder, I shred that
You
thing down.
burn it. I like
Done.
it.
Right?
I
But it's
like
out
it.
of me. You guys, it's out. If anything, just try writing down on paper anything that you're feeling, any keywords, nothing, whatever, and then destroy that thing. Destroy that thing. Don't even keep it
I
because
like
you don't
it.
need to keep those emotions. You just destroy them things.
Get them out of here.
Just get them out. You know? And it's like, and it's okay to let ourselves be a mess. It's
Gosh,
okay to let
yes,
ourselves be a mess. Like, be a mess.
yes, I agree. Be a mess. I mean, I'm typically a mess. Let's be honest. I'm more a mess than I am put together. But yeah, normalize being a mess. Normalize it. Like, and you need to give yourself the time and the space to do that. If your bedroom is the only place you feel comfortable doing that, then there. Lock yourself, put yourself in your bedroom and let it go. We hold it together so much
Oh my gosh.
all the time.
Yeah.
We got to give ourselves the time and space to be a mess.
Yeah, to be a mess. And when I was going through my breakup, Tracy and you guys, I was like, what do I need? If it was a friend, if it was my best friend, what would she need from me? Or what would he need from me right now? Right? He would need comfort. He would need me to be there. If what would I do? Would I bring him chocolate? Would I bring wine if that's what she liked? Would I bring
Right.
would I invite her to a movie? What would I do for my best friend when she is confiding in me, when she's telling me her feelings? Am I gonna judge her? Would I judge her? No, I wouldn't, right? So then that was like the big moment for me when I say, why don't I treat myself the way I would treat my best friend? Why don't I treat myself the way I would treat my daughter if she was going through a breakup? Why
Right.
I deserve all of that. And so when I did that and I allowed myself to be a mess, I allowed myself for all of these feelings to come out of me and I did not judge. There was a feeling, Tracy, that came to me that I was like, I will never be with a man ever again in my life. Right?
We both talked about that
Right?
yesterday.
I allowed that feeling with no judgment. That only lasted for a couple of hours, but I let it come out. You guys, I let it come out with no judgment.
I
And that
love
is
it.
what we need to do. We need to just allow ourselves to be a mess with no judgment. Because you know why? It is temporary.
It
It's
is
not gonna last
temporary.
forever. It is temporary. Let's go back. Let's go now. We're gonna go. We're gonna go to the second part of this amazingness. It is going to be okay. Here we go.
And
We
six.
talked
All
about
right.
that, right? We talked
Yeah,
about write it down. Oh my
we
gosh.
did. We
We are
did.
number
Wow, we're
7.
jumping ahead. Yep. Yeah, your tribe.
Yes, I
I love
mean,
this. I love this. Yeah. So when you take away such a significant piece of your life, right? That person provided connection. He or she provided intimacy. They provided safety. They provided whatever, all the above.
Mm-hmm.
You still need that, right? We still need connection. It's vital.
Mm-hmm.
So the 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 goal is to find connection, but not like the fake connection, right? Where you're just kind of pretending and talking about the weather. Like the goal is to your tribe, your girlfriends, your guy friends that you can talk deep with, your mom, your sister, your whomever it may be, right? Continue to find space and time to have deep connection and conversation with them, because it's so important to find your community during hard times. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just breakups in general, but I find that we tend to isolate when we're going through tough things. We're in our own mess, but connecting with others is a key part of healing.
Yeah.
Key.
Yeah, and you're huge on that. You're huge on healing community,
I
which
am.
I love. By the way, you guys, Tracy has a great. Let's see, your website, right? You have in a great community. You have on Instagram. You have a great Instagram
Yes.
community, and you have an amazing website, which I want to highlight it because hello, like really, like
Aw,
look at this, you guys.
thanks.
Look
Thanks.
at her. Oh my gosh, that was great. That's one of our tips that are coming up. The photo shoot part.
Yes. Yeah.
Tracy,
Oh, forgot about that. Yeah.
take it away, Tracy.
Yeah. So safe space, CNY, the location. Currently, we have groups running. My the space is in development as we speak. So what it is it's a community space that just strives to change the conversation around mental health. So it's educating, it's connecting, it's supporting through more of a peer-to-peer network. Um, so not only does it bring you together through support groups and circles, but it also teaches you how to cope. So art, music, dance, drumming, equine therapy, writing workshops. We all need outlets, like we were just talking, right? But in some way, creativity is this massive piece of healing that we've sort of lost because
Hmm.
of the day-to-day grind, right? We get so lost in that. So the safe space, my goal is to strip away all shame around mental health and healing and make it kind of the cool place to be, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So new space will be up and running soon. I will have that information out shortly. And we do have a variety of support groups right now. So
Yeah. Look at
please,
this.
please follow. Yeah, just normalizing being in community to heal. My belief is we rise by coming together here in Syracuse. So
Yeah, here,
that's my goal,
especially right, especially here in Syracuse, but like in
especially in
general, right? We
Syracuse
we
in general. Yeah,
yeah, we definitely heal a community that we feel safe in because
it's
we want to be in a
huge.
place that is gonna make us feel accepted, and we're not gonna feel judged, and we're gonna feel that we belong, that this that we're going through, people understand us, what we're going through, people understand our traumas, and we gotta also feel that hope that yes, this is gonna get better. Now, for example, in a group where everyone is feeling the same thing and someone has been in a group for a long time and there has been no improvement, you gotta feel all of that good stuff. And Tracy, I feel your safe, your safe space actually does all of that, which I so much I appreciate you being here with us, sharing your expertise
Oh,
and all of this again.
thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, of course. All right. So we actually cover like all of them, right? The last one that we actually didn't talk about is treat yourself to a photo shoot. Because I mean, we talked about pain being temporary already, is that we're not going to stay in this space. We don't belong in a sad space. Is we visited and okay, so Tracy, you can call us back if you're watching. Okay, Tracy came back. Okay, here we go. Tracy,
I have no idea what happened,
I
but I
got
think
you back. That was fast. I love it. So we're talking about, right, that pain is temporary, that we're not gonna stay in this space for forever. We feel it. We just we do what we have to do with this pain, but we don't stay
yeah,
there. right? We move on to different pains. So that is about pain being temporary. Anything else you want to say about that, Miss Tracy?
No, we kind of talked about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
riding the wave. The fear of it is what holds us back.
Oh, for
And
sure.
fear, we make up all that in our head. We make
Mm-hmm.
all that up in our head. So
Yeah.
if you actually dive into it, it's like 60 seconds and it's over. So
Right, exactly. Right.
it's
You know what? The
practice.
90-second aspect of it, now I think about it, because people sometimes say, okay, if you have a craving, you just wait this moment, this time,
Hmm.
and then it will go away. So I guess that makes sense. So Paul, right, if you
Yes,
don't learn
Paul.
from past relationship, it will probably repeat again.
You're
Listen, we need to be
right.
in big screen for this, for Paul. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, Paul, can we just listen? We repeat patterns and we date the same type of people unless we learn from our mistakes. You are absolutely right. It's like head exploding emoji, right? You were like, wow, actually they're all really similar. Like, what am I doing? Like,
Right. It's like, and then this is the other one, because we have the relationship episode with this author Khalid Bey, and one of the theories he mentioned, he's like, if your new person reminds you of the old one, turn the other way.
red flag, red flag.
I mean, it's like, how could they be? They don't know each other or anything like that, right? So just, yeah, just like turn
Very,
it around.
very good point.
Yeah, but okay.
But
So
the
our was that Tracy?
I was going to say, but the only way you know that is if you have those periods of time in between relationship where you're actually doing work, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Like if you move on too quickly, you're oblivious to it all, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. And we gotta own our shit. Honestly, we
Own
do.
your shit.
That's
God, I
it.
love that.
Yeah, we gotta own it,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's not all the other person's fault, right? You
No.
were in it. There was some stuff. Whatever it was, own it. Don't bring it
And say,
back
I'm
if
going
you
to
don't
do
like
better.
it. Right, exactly, right?
I'm going to do
Don't
better.
don't bring it back. So okay, so the last one, you guys, which is great. I did this, and Tracy, do you do it as well?
I did do this. It's so funny. I did do this. Oh, it makes you feel so good.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, like you just
You
feel
gotta
good,
feel, yes.
and this goes for guys also. Guys, you can have a photo shoot. You can have a photo shoot, feel handsome, and get clothes and get jackets and hats and like do you. And photo shoot is the best way, because you see yourself and you're like, yeah, I'm still looking
Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah,
still look good.
I still look
No,
good.
I agree. And it is the thing right now, right? And there's
Hmm.
so many local amazing photographers that you can spend $100 and they'll take like 10 photos of you. Um, and you get all, I don't know, it just, you got to make yourself feel good during this time, right?
Yeah.
Self-care is one thing, but you also got to be like you just said, like, damn, I still got it. I still got it.
For sure. And at the same time, you don't even have to say, for example, if it's not in your budget, right? You don't even have to hire a photographer. You can get
Right. That's true.
your iPhone, a tripod that costs about $20, and then you put that iPhone on video, and you put it in a location like in front of a window, and you go in front of that window and you have your photo shoot. You change outfits and you come in, the video is playing, you freeze, then take
Oh
that
my God,
screenshot.
I've never done that. That's amazing.
Tracy, I'm
I
telling
might
you,
do
it
that.
works. And you guys, it works. You record and go on and take pictures. And you go in there. This is what Instagram, Instagram influencers who do,
This is
makeup
what they
and
do.
clothing. Yeah. Yeah. And then you
Love
take a
it. I
screenshot
always
of that.
wonder that.
Yeah. You have to freeze though. You have to freeze.
You, you have to freeze.
You
Okay.
have to freeze a little bit, so that then you can go and take that screenshot and it looks good. It's not blurry. Your hand is not disappearing and things like
That
that.
is so good to know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good to know. Look at
Yeah.
you and your little hacks.
I'm telling
Love
you, a
it.
hack that you learn here at Officially Unofficial TV on 9 tips on how to heal from a
How to heal.
breakup. They're gonna help you. These tips, you guys, if you implement them and take your time, I do want to say, Tracy, like no matter what, taking your time and allowing yourself to be a mess, being gentle with yourself, if anything, would do you a world of good. Just those
Agreed.
ones.
Agreed. It'll end.
Yeah.
It'll end.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It will. You will
One
not.
day
You're
at a
not.
time.
Yeah, you're not gonna be in the space forever. And you guys, oh my gosh, thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. It's just what, 2 days before the new year 2022. And here at Officially Unofficial, we have a lot of great topics prepared for you. We're gonna have our yearly tradition of bringing the fitness expert with us, JT Houston. He is amazing at just giving quick exercises, quick things that we can do to get ourselves back into it if that's one of our resolutions, right? We're also going to be talking about, right? We're going to be talking about mental health and divorce, what it does to us, why we, how we can heal for things like that. Also, because healing from a divorce is completely different, especially if you have children, than healing from a relationship that, where it's not, you don't have children in it and you haven't been married. So it's totally different. We're going to have a show on that. And we're also going to have a new series, you guys, with Vera House. It's a local organization that supports women or victims going through domestic violence, males or females. So we're going to have a series with them as well. So a lot of great things happening at Officially Unofficial TV. Make sure you tune in, you like our page, and send us a DM or a private message if you would like to be a guest on our show. You can just send it to officiallyunofficialtv@gmail.com for consideration. Also, you guys, if you would like to support my channel, you can go to buymeacoffee.com, Anna Gill, and show your support that way. So you guys, anything else, Tracy, that you would like to mention before
No.
we...
Not really. You guys have a safe and happy New Year's and do your thing. If it's on the couch or if it's out dancing, do your thing.
Yeah.
Ring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
Bring it in with yourself. If you are with yourself, you guys, if you are by yourself, no shame in that. It's better than being in a relationship that you weren't feeling great in, or in a relationship that didn't want to put the effort to move forward with the relationship itself. So you are in the best place you could be right now, which is by yourself. So enjoy yourself. Enjoy your year. Your end of the year is 2021 is done. 2022 is coming up. I feel it, Tracy, right? Because
feel it,
right?
It's gotta get better. I mean, it's gotta get better.
Right? It's like, come on.
Only one way to go. Only one.
Come on, for real. So you guys know how to get a hold of Tracy. You go on and follow her on Instagram. Check out her webpage. We just showed it to you. Share this episode with your friends if you feel that this episode is going to provide some light to them if they're going through a breakup. They will appreciate it, and so will we. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us, for sharing your comments with us, for just have fun at the end of this year, no matter what. This is it. Just a couple of two more days, right?
2 more days. We got this. We got this, guys.
We can do this. 2 more days. Tracy, you are awesome. Have yourself an amazing rest of the day and enjoy your New Year's Eve.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
All right.
You too.
Everybody, thank you so much. Tracy, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Ana Gil with Officially Unofficial. Bye, everyone.